What if I told you that the United States government spent over a decade kidnapping, drugging, and torturing its own citizens? In secret, no trial, no consent. This wasn't a conspiracy theory. This was real. This was MkUltra. To understand MkUltra, you need to World War II had just ended. The Soviet Union had become America's biggest enemy. The Cold War had begun, a war not of bullets, but of fear and secrets. American officials believed the Soviets had developed techniques to brainwash prisoners. The Korean War. American soldiers were confessing to crimes. The CIA asked one terrifying question. What if the enemy could control the human mind? In April 1953, CIA Director Allen Dulles authorized a program so secret even most CIA agents didn't know it existed. It was called MkUltra. MK stood for mind control. The K borrowed from the German, a nod to the Nazi scientists the CIA had secretly recruited through Operation Paperclip. Simple and terrifying. Find a way to control the human mind. Create a truth serum. Build a perfect assassin. And not even remember doing it. The man put in charge was a chemist named Sidney Gottlieb. His colleagues called him the Black Sorcerer. Between 1953 and 1973, the CIA ran over across 80 institutions, research universities, hospitals, prisons, all and funded secretly through front organizations. They tested LSD, a powerful hallucinogenic drug, on unwitting subjects, not volunteers, unwitting. People who had nitrogen monoxide, idea they were being drugged. They tested it on prisoners, on mental patients, on soldiers, on ordinary CIA citizens. Would spike people's drinks at bars and watch from behind a one-way mirror. One operation was called Operation Midnight Climax. CIA agents set up safe houses in San Francisco and New York. They hired prostitutes to lure men in, drugged them with LSD, and filmed their reactions, all in the name of science. Some victims had violent breakdowns. Some begged for death. Some never recovered. The most chilling story from MkUltra is the death of Frank Olson. Frank Olson was a U.S. Army biochemist, a family man. In November 1953, Sidney Gottlieb secretly spiked Olson's drink without his knowledge. Olson had a complete psychological breakdown. He became paranoid and withdrew from everyone. 9 days later, Frank Olson fell from a 13th-floor hotel window in New York City. The CIA called it suicide. But in 1994, his family had his body exhumed. A forensic expert found evidence of blunt trauma to his skull before he fell through that window. His son, Eric Olson, has spent his entire life trying to prove his father was. To this day, the case remains unsolved. But MkUltra wasn't just about drugs. The CIA explored hypnosis, trying to create hypnotic who could carry secret messages and then forget them entirely. They experimented with sleep deprivation, keeping subjects awake for days. They used electroconvulsive therapy, electric shocks to the brain, trying to wipe memory clean and reprogram human beings like computers. One Canadian psychiatrist named Dr. Ewen Cameron, funded secretly by the CIA, performed experiments so brutal he kept patients in drug-induced sleep for weeks, sometimes months. He played recorded messages on repeat thousands of times, trying to overwrite their personalities. His patients lost their memories. They forgot their children's names. They forgot how to walk. They forgot who they were. These weren't criminals. These were ordinary Canadians who had checked in for depression and anxiety. By the early 1970s, MkUltra was running out of steam. The experiments hadn't produced a perfect mind-controlled assassin. In 1973, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered the destruction of thousands of documents MkUltra files. But they made one mistake. About 20,000 documents had been misfiled in a financial records archive, and they survived. In 1977, journalist John Marks found them through a Freedom of Information Act. The world was about to find out what its government had been doing in secret. In August 1977, the U.S. Senate held a special hearing. For the first time, Americans heard directly from their government about what had been done in their name. Senator Ted Kennedy called it a dark chapter in our history. Survivors testified. Families wept. The nation was in shock. Sidney Gottlieb testified before the Senate. He showed no remorse. He called MkUltra a program that was appropriate for its time. He was never charged with a crime. He died in 1999, a free man, living quietly on a farm in Virginia. MkUltra officially ended. But did it really? We only recovered 20,000 documents out of what was likely hundreds of thousands. What was in the files that were destroyed? In 2001, the Canadian government paid compensation to victims of Dr. Cameron's experiments. The questions that remain are deeply unsettling. Were mind control techniques ever successfully developed? Were they used on foreign leaders, on assassins? Does a successor program exist today under a different name? We don't know, because we can't know, because those files were burned. What we do know is this: the most powerful intelligence agency in the world spent 20 years and millions of dollars trying to control the human mind. And they did it in secret, with your tax money, on your fellow citizens. Every single thing I told you today is documented, confirmed, admitted by the U.S. government itself. Frank Olson never got justice. The patients of Dr. Ewen Cameron never got their memories back. And Sidney Gottlieb never spent a single day in prison. History remembers what governments try to forget. And that is exactly why we must keep asking questions. If you found this video eye-opening, share it. Someone needs to see this. Subscribe for more hidden history. Because the truth is always stranger than fiction.